Hi, Asia.
Hi, Professor. Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Yes. Hello. My name is Asia Stevens, and I'll be talking with Professor Daniel Mullensiefen from Goldsmith University on the power of music as a marketing tool and the relationship between music, psychology, and marketing. It is an honour to speak with you today, Professor. And on that note, would you kindly tell us what music and psychology qualifications you have?
Yeah, thanks very much. I'm happy to talk to you, and I'm glad there's some interest into music psychology in that part of South London, where Goldsmith is roughly located as well. Um, so I studied musicology, or systematic musicology, and also studied some psychology. So my background is really in musicology, but then I did a lot of research in computational modeling as well as psychology, and now I've become a professor in the psychology department at Goldsmith University of London, where I lead the Masters in Music, Mind and Brain, a master's program that's specialized in music psychology as well as brain sciences.
What interested you into taking these qualifications?
I guess it was the interest in music. So at first I thought I might become a musician, but then I realized that I had a great interest in studying music academically and researching music, and maybe that's more where my talents are, more so than playing music or composing.
What are your favourite genres of music?
Well, I'm very eclectic in my taste. I listen to all sorts of music, so ranging from classical music and jazz and blues, but also rock, heavy metal, experimental music, early hip hop, all sorts of stuff, rhythm and blues.
Yeah. How often do you listen to music?
Well, all the time, basically every day, at times when it is not interfering with work, but well, during chores I do at home, or any mundane jobs that can afford some music in the background.
Yeah. When listening to music, how do you feel?
It depends really, because I listen to music at all times and occasions. So sometimes I feel sad when I listen to music, sometimes I feel happy, sometimes I feel rage, sometimes I want to listen to music that expresses what I'm feeling right now. Sometimes I put on music deliberately to take me to a different place emotionally. So I think that's almost everyone has a range of feelings that music can express.
What are your favourite songs or song?
Uh, well, there's a lot of songs by Frank Zappa that I really like. For example, Zombie Wolf.
Do you think music is a powerful marketing tool in today's society? Please explain your reasons why.
Yeah, it can be a very powerful marketing tool, and most commercial campaigns on TV or on the radio actually use music to some degree to enhance their emotional messages. And music is very good at expressing and transporting, conveying emotions from the sender to the receiver, and to enhance what a brand or what a product wants to express, or how it wants to reach their consumers emotionally. And if you find, or if you're able to find the right piece of music that matches your brand message and your brand, then that can hugely enhance the effectiveness of your ad.
Is there a relationship between music, psychology and marketing? Please explain your answer.
Yeah, there can be. I mean, the mechanism by which music works for marketing and in commercial context is psychological, right? So it's not physical, but it's based on the psychology of people and understanding people's minds and how they respond to emotional cues and triggers. And that's basically why we can use psychology to study how music affects consumer behavior and how it's effective in terms of marketing.
Book authors James J. Kellowitz and Robert J. Kent in 1991 exploring tempo and modality effects on consumer responses to music and book authors Smith Kernwood from California State, Northridge in 1966, conducting an oceanside field music experiment on the volume and effects of background music and mode are four main components that impact our desire to buy products. Would you agree or disagree with this statement? Please explain why.
Yeah, so I think these studies were getting at some of the factors that make music effective and that you have to observe if you want to find a music that is really fitting the context where you want to use it. So, for example, in a restaurant, if you want to express a certain type of environment or context, you wouldn't want to put the music on too loud because it would then overpower conversations, or it wouldn't fit a stylish atmosphere. And that's one of the reasons why they found that softer music actually would produce better results commercially, because the type of restaurant they were experimenting with was requiring a type of music that was quiet in the background and would enhance the general atmosphere of the restaurant. In different contexts, for example, if this was a loud and trendy bar for maybe a younger audience, you might want to put on the volume a bit louder just to signal that this is for a different crowd. So it really always depends on the purpose, audience, and context of the use of music.
Neurology doctor Andrew Budson from Harvard University Medical School said music can uplift our moods. If you listen to music that starts off sad but builds up towards a resolution by the end, your mood may improve. Do you agree with his ideology?
Yeah, that's a known technique. It's called the ISO principle, that you pick the patient up at the mood level where they are. So if they're sad, you play kind of sad music, but then over time you'd want to increase the, say, volume, happiness, choose a major mode instead of a minor mode, make it louder. So through the music, they are taken on a journey from a sad and depressed state to more to a happier state in the long run. And this principle is something that music therapists actually would use in their therapy sessions as well.
Many studies have stated that branding, such as styling, messaging, and aesthetics, can have a significant psychological impact on human behaviour that influences our purchasing decisions. Do you agree with this statement?
Sorry, can you repeat that? There was some noise in the background here.
Many studies have stated that branding, such as styling, messaging, and aesthetics, can have a significant psychological impact on human behaviour that influences our purchasing decisions. Do you agree with this statement?
Yeah, of course. I mean, with many products, it's not about the utility of the product itself, but it's more about how it's marketed. So whether it's a product that you desire to purchase because it's introduced as novel, or it's associated with the right kind of endorsers, or whether you've seen it in a context that you highly prefer. And these are the factors that then make us choose between all these different types of cereals that you see on a supermarket shelf, for example. So there's hardly anyone who can distinguish, say, different flavors of Cokes or cereals or something, but it's all about the marketing, messaging, and the aesthetics of these products that then distinguishes the prices, and also how people respond to it, and why we buy some products and we wouldn't buy other products, at least not if we have little time and resources to think about them. So, I mean, here we're talking mainly about products that are fast-moving consumer goods, where we, in a split of a second, make a decision to buy them or not. This is not like say, cars or a house, where we take our time to think about the investment.
Apart from classical music, what type of music genres is beneficial for people's mental health or well-being?
Oh, it can literally be all sorts of genres, and it's important to observe and to note what the patient has as their own musical taste. So it's important to kind of relate to them with a type of music that they're already familiar with and that they feel comfortable expressing their emotions and playing with their emotions. So if you haven't had any prior experience with classical music, then it's probably not very helpful to use classical music in music therapy sessions, but you would rather use, say, improvised music or folk music or any music that this particular patient feels very affiliated to.
Do we tend to purchase more items if we listen to faster tempo music than slower, calming music?
I don't think so. So I know of studies that we might go faster through a supermarket if the music played in the background is faster, but we don't necessarily buy more products. We might buy them in a shorter amount of time because we tend to kind of pick up the pace of the music and then walk faster and make decisions more quickly, but not necessarily buying more. It might actually turn out the opposite. If you spend more time in a supermarket, your eyes might come across more products that you eventually end up buying just because you're spending more time and you see more offers and things that might interest you.
Can music change an individual's life or perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. So music can change the lives of many people, and these would often be people who have a deep love of music, who've either made music themselves or spent a good deal of their time and life doing music. And for those people, music can be really life-changing. But then there are other people who feel less a stronger connection with music and are emotionally aren't as touched by that, and we have to respect these people as well. So there are people who are more into sports or into other types of activities and wouldn't get the same thing from music as we would do.
Are there any health benefits when listening to music?
Yeah, there can be. As I said, music can be a very effective tool to manipulate your emotion. Music can have very significant mental health benefits if used in the right way. I mean, the only side effect of music, or negative side effect that is reported, is that music, if it's too loud and you listen to it for too long a time, can damage your hearing. But apart from that, there aren't any negative side effects from music, and still music can have effects similar to pharmaceutical products to lift your mood or to pace yourself during the day, to calm yourself down in the evening, or get yourself out of bed in the morning, similar to a cup of coffee. So if we use music wisely, we can get a lot out of it.
Social and developmental psychology Dr. Jason Wentworth from Cambridge University carried out a music research study called You Are What You Listen To, stating, research suggests that even though our assumptions may not be accurate, we get a very strong impression about someone when we ask them what music they like. Do you agree or disagree with the statistics of the study, and why?
Yeah, I think this is very much true. So I think what he means there is that music is can be a tool for social delineation or signaling. So what type of social group do you affiliate with? Are you listening to kind of reggae music of a specific type, or are you listening to rock music from the 70s? And that already signals where you come from, who you affiliate with, which entertainment venues you might go to, and it tells a lot about your character as well. There's also studies that Jason Renfro carried out about personality and music. For example, that extroverts are often listening to more energetic and rhythmic music, so there's a correlation between that. So if you know a person's musical taste and preferences, there's already a lot that you can infer about this person, and that might help you treating this person in the future.
Book authors North, Adrian C., David J. and Hargreaves from Curtin University and Macquarie University in Australia published Music and Consumer Behaviour 2009 in the Oxford Handbook of Music Psychology about their studies that linked background music being played at shopping centres or restaurants influence the majority of people to order or buy products that would not normally be purchased. Do you agree or disagree with the statistics of this study, and why?
Yeah, there's, as we said, music certainly has the power to influence people in their consumer and purchasing behavior. But it doesn't render us completely will-less, but we still have our own will, and most of the purchases that we would do as normal. It's just a smaller margin where music can influence us in terms of purchasing or buying different things or more or less things. So I don't know what the percentage margin would be, but it's rather in the area of 5 or 10%. It's not the case that if you put on music in a supermarket, it makes you spend £200 if your intention was to spend only £5 in the first place. So it's you have to put this in perspective. But even if you spend only, say, 2 or 3% more, at the scale of all the consumers that might visit a large Sainsbury's store during a day, this can make a huge difference in their revenues.
Do you see music being impactful in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see why music should become less impactful. It has a lot of impact already, and I think because it's even more available now to people with streaming services and mobile devices, people will actually make more use of it and in more situations, which I think is a good thing, because you can turn to music if you need some kind of emotional medium to regulate and drive your emotions during the day.
Thank you very much, Professor, for participating in my interview.